Here we are, another Advanced Legends Raceline video at IRP, also known as Lucas Oil Raceway Park in Speedway, Indiana. This is a very fun track. It's a very wide track. However, this track, because it is relatively flat, it is it's a driver's feel track. So what I mean by that is where you can get back on the throttle, whether or not your setup is free and rotates on its own. Sometimes you'll have to trail brake into the corners to get it to turn. This track it's just one you have to drive by feel, I think is the best way to put it. So breaking down the laps are going to be a little more challenging, but we'll get through it. So as always, we're going to start off from the pits. We'll do our drive up or our warm up lap, and we'll run 4 or 5 race laps, and then we'll come back and break them on down. So here we go. Okay, so you can see in my lap times 25.2, 1, 3, 2, 2, 1. It's very difficult to be consistent here. 2, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 2, 1. So anywhere between lap 6 and 10 are going to be your fastest laps. I do know that. So let's go back and we'll watch our So as you can see, we should be crossing the start finish line about 100. The first thing that I look for is you're going to see where this wall, well, let's get down the track a little bit. You'll see where the wall kind of steps up, and that's when it begins to turn. Before you get there, you're going to want to start your turn in, as you can see here. You just see the top of the wheel here. As I approach this elevation in the wall, I guess you could say, we're going to start to turn in. Now, the next thing I'm looking for is this green light, this traffic corner light. You can drive into the corner until you're darn near at it or just before it. So, as you can see, we're still full throttle, making our turn in. And I am completely off the gas. You guys can't see this, but in my third monitor, it is just perpendicular with the hood of my car. So it goes, and then there's the light, if that makes sense to you. So we'll look at it again. We're going to come down right before we get to that elevation in the wall. We're going to start our turn in. Hood pin should be on the back half of this first line. And we're going to roll off the gas until it is, like I said, perpendicular with the hood of your car. I don't even really know where to start. This track is so wide and it has so many different grooves. For example, your fast line is going to be the bottom. As close as you can run to that line, that's going to be your fast time. Because this track is so flat, if you run down here the entire time, you won't get 20, 25 laps out of your tires. They'll be just gone. If you want to be a little more conservative and have, or I should say prolong your tires, you need to run this middle tar line right here. Now, I've seen it many, many times. You can pass on the outside here at IRP. There's plenty of room. And depending on your setup and how you've got yourself set up for the corner, you are just as fast on this middle to outside line as you are this line down here. So we're going to come down and we're going to try. Okay, here's the line I was talking about, not the dash line, sorry. I typically am more on this white line. You don't have to turn as much, and it's just more comfortable to me. Again, this is one of those tracks that's going to be a driver's track. It is really about feel. So again, I'm completely off the throttle. About halfway, I would say maybe. There's really no reference points here to talk about, unless we could say maybe this light pole or this fence pole right here. So as you are even with it and your hood pin, you should start to be accelerating, or at least rolling back into the throttle at this point. So we'll use that as our reference point. You're going to continue. Again, like I said, I like to be up here a little bit. This line is a little quicker, but the second you come below that line, the car's going to get loose. It's going to scrub more speed, and it's just not the way you run this track. I have seen guys do it. They have a setup that allows them to do it. I personally do not find it beneficial whatsoever to go below this line. So the lines you're going to run are here and here or here and here. More conservative, less tire wear, a little faster, more tire wear. So it's going to be completely up to you, your situation on the track. If you're trying to run somebody down, you might dip a couple laps down here and then come up here for one or two, and vice versa. It's going to be completely up to you and your comfort. Okay, so we're coming through. We're just going to, again, we're going to stay in between these two lines. We should be about full throttle between Kroger and Lucas Oil. If you can do that, you've got a good lap going. I'm not quite there, but I should be real soon. Well, I turned down a little bit. So I'm not full throttle until Sunbelt Rentals. Very, very important here because the track is so flat again. Once you get full throttle and you start to drift out to the wall, you got to be straightening that wheel. You got to get in the habit of gas and straighten, gas and straighten. They're hand in hand. So you should be just parallel with Kroger when you run the outside wall, and you do want to be, as again, like any other track, as close to the wall as you can. Parallel all the way down. Both ends of this track are identical. So again, as you can already see, this little elevation in the wall, we're going to start our turn in just before that elevation. Okay, I started my turn in. I'm approaching it. Again, we're going to have a green traffic corner signal. We're going to stay full throttle until, there we go. It is perpendicular with the hood. Again, I know you guys can't see that because I've got triples, but the hood is perpendicular with the traffic light here. So again, you can see these lines a lot more. Here's going to be your faster groove. This is going to be your more conservative groove. For the purposes of this video, we're going to come down here. So we're going to stay off the throttle again. We're going to just roll down. Taking me a little longer to get there this time. Again, you guys will understand everything I'm talking about when it comes to a driver's feel and a driver's track once you start practicing. So we're going to stay right in the middle, it looks like, honestly. But we're going to get down into this area right here. We're going to start to pick up the throttle about halfway again. Should be, let's see, I get back on the throttle right here at this Kroger sign again, it looks like. We're just going to ease into it. Listen to the tires. If they're screeching, then you need to back out. You got into it too hard, too soon. So you can gradually start to, once you have gotten down to the line that you want to run, whether it be here and here or here and here, once you've gotten down to your line, you can start to pick up the throttle. Either way, you do want to be full throttle by the time you get to NHRA, which we are. Again, you can see the wheel. I'm starting to come straight with it already. The car, you're going to think the car is going to come out here and just smash the wall. It, uh, it's a feeling you're going to have to get used to. It just hooks and turns. Going to come all the way out to the wall, and we should be about 100 again when we hit the start finish line. We'll do one more to see how consistent or inconsistent I am here. It is my favorite track. I've got more laps here than anywhere, but as you can see, temperature, setup, so many variables go into this track, and I think that's why I like it the most. But okay, elevation, we've already started our turn in. We're going to stay flat footed until we're perpendicular with the light, and we should be about on the back half of this first white line. Right on the back side of it, perpendicular with the light, and we're off the throttle. We're looking for our line. You can see in the sun, it comes in. This is our fast line. This is our more conservative, although equally fast line. So this is, let's just say this is more of a qual line slash passing line. This is more of a longevity race line. I think that's very safe to say. So once we let off completely, we find our line. We're going to start to pick back up the throttle ever so slightly. We're not going to jump on it. We're just going to hold it, feel it out. Okay. By about the time we get to Kroger, full throttle, much better lap this time because I wasn't full throttle until Sunbelt over here. So we're full throttle. We're going to start to turn the wheel, straighten the tires. We should be parallel with the wall right here at the end of Kroger. Again, the first couple times you come around here, you're going to think you're just going to smack into the wall, but the car hooks and turns. And there we are. There's the end of Kroger. Our wheel is damn near straight, and we're going to ride the wall down to the next end. You can already see the elevation in the wall right before the blue sign. As we approach that elevation, we're going to turn in. There's our turn in. We're going to go until we are perpendicular with the light. We are perpendicular with the light right here. So you could say, for those of you that don't have triples, once you start your hood pin approaches this insurance, I'd say that's a safe place to let off. We're going to let off. Again, you can see I had to trail brake a little bit to get down. We're going to stay in our left side tires in this area. Picking up the throttle as I get more comfortable with it. Not hammering on it. It's taken a long time to get full throttle. So again, feel the car. What is it telling you? Listen to the tires. Is it wanting to come around on you? Is it pushing straight to the wall? You need to adjust. If it's pushing straight to the wall, you got on the gas way too hard, or you drove it in way too far. If it's getting loose on you, you're probably too low. So as we come around, again, almost full throttle by the time we hit NHRA. I do drop below this line a little bit. I don't recommend it. It will throw you around more often than not. So as you get to the NHRA sign and we get full throttle, we're going to do what we always do. We're going to straighten the wheels. We're going to drift out to the wall, paralleling the wall to the start finish line where we should be approximately 99 to 100 miles an hour. And we are. I really do hope this helps. You're going to have to spend some time here. There's no other way around it. Your setup, the weather, the time of day, the temperature of the track are all going to be factors here at this place. So put some time in, practice, practice, practice. IRP. It is a fun track. There's a lot of close racing here. You can kind of cat and mouse in the corners. You know, you go high and then you go low, and um, figure out what you get comfortable with. Figure out the breaking point of the car, what it likes, what it doesn't like. Put it all together and run that line that you're most comfortable with. Is it going to be the bottom line and you sacrifice tire wear for lap time? Or you run more into the middle second groove where you're maybe a hair slower and you have prolonged your tires at least 8 or 10 laps running that outer groove. So let me know what you guys think. This is one of my favorite tracks. I hope you guys enjoy it. You will have to put in practice. Let the car tell you what it likes and respond. That's the best I got, unfortunately. Um, this is uh, this is a driver's track. You got to feel it out. So enjoy.